Hello, I'm Joey Bekewe. Today on Relationship Explications, I'll be talking about self-imposed standards that help you choose the right partner. Well, for some people, there are some self-imposed standards that are not based on the right values. Today we'll be talking about the right imposed standards that you will put on yourself and put as a criteria for you to choose the right person and also making a very wise choice for your relationship and your marriage. Keep watching.
No matter how the years go by, I kept loving you, and even as the years roll by.
Hello and welcome back. I'm Joey Bekewe, and yes, this is Relationship Explications. Thank you so much for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and for helping us spread this value really fast and wide. Thank you. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please subscribe and click on the notification bell so that you can get episodes from us whenever they drop. Thank you so much. So let's go into the business of today. Self-imposed standards that help you choose the right partner. Well, a lot of people don't have standards that they use, the criteria that they use. I know that when we're growing up, mostly for us as women, men, most times their biggest dream is how they're going to be very wealthy and going to have a very beautiful family. But for us as women, we have details. We have our lists. There is how the guy should be physically, there is how it should be financially, and sadly we always look at the physical part because even growing up, all our movies we are watching how the Prince Charming is going to come and sweep us all off our feet and all that. So those are the excitements we have as women. So we have this list. I had a very interesting list too when I was much younger. I had very tall. I used to like dark American guys. Tall, dark, handsome, speak well, intelligent, exposed, and the list goes on. And for me, really, spiritual was not really part of it. As long as he's romantic, he looked me in the eyes and he has a great sense of humor, what makes me laugh. I know many of us as women, we have that. Some of us still have it. But is that the right standard that you should use to choose a life partner? Let's talk about it. So self-imposed standards. There are some things right now that are in your relationship that, okay, because it is relationship, it is okay. But in marriage, you will need the other things more. That if you're not checking out for those things now in the relationship, don't expect to find them there in marriage. I'm talking about characters. I'm talking about the things that money cannot buy. The things, the values and the character and the habits that has been formed and developed by a person over time that money cannot buy. Those are the things I'm talking about. So when I say self-imposed standards, I'm talking about what are the things you value in a relationship. Because I was having a conversation with someone, and it's a guy, one of my editor actually, and he was talking about how ladies are not bold enough to set certain standards. Yes, men don't like it. They will not like it if you just say, oh, these are my standards. But they follow. If a man likes you, if he sees your standards, he will know that you are serious. You know that, okay, I don't appreciate this. And it helps you, it protects you from nonsense in relationship. Somebody like you, if you say, okay, I don't like to be talked to in a particular way. I don't like to be treated without respect. In a relationship, there should be mutual respect. I don't like a man that cheats. I don't like a man that does not serve God and love God for himself. I don't like a man who spends anyhow. These are standards. But if you don't have any, like I had a friend one time, she could care less about a man that was cheating. She would tell you, said that, please, doesn't let him go and cheat now. That's not my business. As long as he comes home, I will bathe him and take him and clean him very well. He's my husband. And that's enabling for me. And I was like, is that really what you do? She said, yes. She doesn't care. If he goes and cheats, who cares? As long as he comes back home, She will clean him very well and accept him. It's her husband. It doesn't bother her one bit. In my heart, okay, if he knows this part, because she's saying it that that's how she says those things to him and all that. I say, is that not enabling? Okay, maybe somebody is struggling with a challenge of cheating, and the way you even act towards it, does it not make him go ahead and do it? Why don't you show the part of, oh, I don't like this? But that I understand that that is a challenge that you have is okay, but it's not like I like it, I don't want it, I don't enjoy it, I don't like it. If you make him feel like, well, you don't care, is that the right way to go? So, self-imposed standards, number one. What are your standards spiritually? What are the things that are a no-no for you, for a man spiritually? You should think about it, because a lot of young ladies, they don't consider this aspect. Some do, but they feel like it's so hard to find. It's not. It's not. So number one, spiritual standards. Let's talk about, okay, what you need to first of all have a guy that the both of you believe the same thing. You cannot be the one who speaks in tongues and you're being in a relationship, even though he's a Christian, with a guy that does not believe in speaking in tongues, and you want to get married to this person. That is a problem already. That is a problem. So you should look at that standard that you're setting, like, okay, spiritually, my standard, I should have someone that will believe the same thing. We should hold hands together, pray together, because we believe the same thing. Not that you're trying to hold the person's hand to pray. The person, no, you want to go and get olive oil first, or you want to go and get water, you want to pour salt all over the house, and you don't believe those things. There is problem already. There is problem already. Because you people have different doctrinal belief system. So this already is going to be a problem for you. So if you're dating already, those are the things you should be looking out for. And don't look at what people say. Watch their lifestyle, watch their patterns, watch what they do. There are some relationship, the lady is always going to different people for prayers. She has like 10 pastors. There are some men too that are like that. If you're the type that don't tolerate that, you should know that I can't deal with this. My standard does not contain this spiritually. I don't want this. Well, if you're someone that does not care about religion, whether you're a Christian, you can marry Muslim, well, that is okay with you, fine. But if someone says, I don't want this, I'm a Christian, I can't marry a Muslim, well, we don't believe the same thing. I am a Christian, but we have different doctrinal belief system, and this does not merge together for me. You should check that seriously. That's number one for spiritual. Number two, mental. You people should be able to marry intellectually. There is the conversation that you should be able to have with someone that stretches their mind. The person should be able to contain your mind mentally. That is a major standard, self-imposed standard you should place. Now you're talking with someone and the person, you are probably talking about a book you read. The person is not even interested. The person, I beg, leave book here. Is it about book? I beg, forget book. Is it about reading? This life is not about reading. I beg, forget about reading. Once that is there, the person, I beg you go and also in the street, forget book. Is it about to read book? You know that there is trouble already. This person cannot contain your mind intellectually. You cannot have a healthy intellectual exchange with this person. So there is problem already. You tell yourself, no, this is what I want. I want a man that is mentally sound. I want somebody that I can have healthy conversation and healthy exchange with. And we will have, and we will stimulate ourselves mentally and enjoy our fellowship mentally. Not that you're talking, the person cannot even understand you. Set those kind of standards. I'm talking both male and female here. You should know what you want and set those standards. So let's go to emotionally. Well, this one has a lot in it. A lot of people, there are different standards here. Because some people, they want romantic. They want, mostly for us as women, because yes, I'm a woman, so I know what the things we want as a woman. They want sense of humor. They want him to be very, you should understand them very well and all that. Yes, but if you find the first two values working, the other ones can be worked on, most especially when it comes to your emotional. it can be worked on. It takes the willingness of the two people. If the spiritual is right, if the mental is right, the other parts can be worked on. I'm telling you based on experience. Because there are some men that they don't know, but they really want to learn. They are not really in this romance thing, but they really want to learn. So if you have a spiritual understanding and you people merge spiritually, you merge mentally, there is the level of conversation and bonding you will have in those places that when it comes to the emotional part, you will grow and build it and learn and grow into it. Yes, because not every man is very romantic to look at you in the eyes every day and say, baby, you're beautiful. I just love your eyes. I just love the way you sound and all that. And most especially when you're married, you've had kids. It doesn't come like that every day. Yes, you may see it during relationship. Most people say, did you open the door for me when we're going on the date? I can't marry him, or it's a no-no for me. But this guy met your spiritual requirement and he met your mental requirement. Why not work on those other things? Because sometimes we have unrealistic lists and unrealistic expectations. Those are the things that sometimes hinder us from getting married. What about as a guy? Say the lady is not very romantic. Will you not teach her? Can you not show her how to do it? Because that is where your leadership comes in. That's where your level of maturity as the leader, as the man, to help her say, hey baby, I like you to do it this way. I like it to be this way. And most especially when you're married, it is fun that way, I'm telling you. Because of recent, me myself and my husband, we've been talking a lot. I've been married for 8 years, but it feels like I'm just really getting to know my husband because we're done with baby making phases and it's just the two of us right now. And we are building, talking about things that probably would have talked about before. And it works. Most especially if the first two is working already. You're emotional, you can develop it. You can work on it. A lot of people, and I have to say this, a lot of people when they met their spouse, it wasn't really like, okay, swept me up my feet, love at first sight, oh, it was so romantic, like Cinderella story. No, a lot of people, it was not like that for them. The guy didn't happen to them. But right now, they have a very strong, loving relationship. Because the truth is, there are some things that you have carried in your mind that he must be like this. Because it is not that way, your emotions are responding based on the things that you are thinking. So your emotions are not just responding because they're just responding. No, they are being informed by a mindset. Now, let me go to the physical because this also affects a lot of the emotional part. There are some people, yes, for me, I even had that stand. I remember then. I wanted a tall, dark, handsome guy. I know a lot of ladies like that too. A very tall, dark, handsome guy. I'm really not a fair or white guy. I'm not white or not fair. I just want a very tall, dark, handsome guy. But the truth is, if you have my husband is tall, dark, and handsome, but I wanted it to be more finer than that. But in my dream, in those days, yeah. But now it's getting very. I was telling him of it. I said, "Why are you now getting very fine in my eyes and all of that?" Because all these things can be worked on. Physical and emotional can be worked on if your spiritual and your mental is balanced. That is what you should be checking out for. If you can have a healthy mental exchange, if your spiritual values marry very well, there is nothing you cannot fix when it comes to your emotional and your physical values. Then, this other part, your financial. For us as ladies, when we're dating a guy, we want him to take us out to spoil us silly, to spend money on us. The truth is, in marriage, you will not judge him for the way he spends money silly on you. You will judge him based on his shrewdness and how he spends money wisely. Because when you're married, mostly for us, I'm concerned about women because we are the ones that get to suffer some decisions that a man makes. And if you are already in the marriage, you will suffer some things that because you didn't choose wisely and he is making all these decisions that are not favorable to you, you will struggle and you will suffer and go through the pains. So financially, what you judge there as a married woman, it's not what you judge when you're single. When you're single, you want him to spoil you silly and spend a lot of money and take you out, take you and your friends out, and so that you will not say he's stingy, coco. He has, in fact, this guy is doing this, but just bought me this, he just bought me that, he just gave me this, he just gave me that. It is good to give also in marriage. But in marriage, what we used to judge our husbands is how shrewd he is with the money, how his financial plans are. Where are we going? We have children. How are we spending the money? How is he being very wise in making decisions when it comes to spending money? That's the difference between being married and a single lady. So, those are the things you should be checking out for now. Those are the self-imposed standards. Number one, I said your spiritual standards. Your spiritual life must marry. You must marry spiritually. You must have the same doctrinal belief system. You must believe the same things doctrinally. Like I said, not one praying in tongues, one say I don't believe in speaking in tongues, one say, oh, I'm this, one say, oh, I'm that. No, please, you should know what you people believe and follow that. Then two, you should mentally marry. You know, the person can contain your mind. You know, I see some relationship, marriages. I hear the man talk and I hear the woman talk. I'm like, okay, why did he make this decision? Sometimes I hear the woman talk and I hear the man talk. I'm like, why did she make this decision? Why? Because I'm seeing the gap mentally between these two people. It may be for other reasons, maybe financially, maybe for sex. But we're seeing it. And right now you're having those issues because the things that made you make the choice as a single lady doesn't work here in marriage. It doesn't. Over time, it will be proven that it doesn't work. So the things that work in marriage are the best self-imposed standards you should check. Your spiritual, check if you marry together, your doctrine, your belief system, do you believe the same thing? Two, you check the intellectual fellowship you have. Can it contain your mind? Does he understand you when you're talking? Does she understand what you're saying? Does she get you? You don't even have to speak so much. She gets you because you people, your minds work the same way. You are sound, she is sound. You should check your mental compatibility. Then you check for your relationship, your emotional. That part can be worked on, but there must be chemistry. There must be chemistry. You must like the person, at least like the person as a person. Then physical, well, so because I can't marry tall, I can't marry short, it must be tall. What if he has everything just because of his height? You're going to cancel it. He has everything you want in a man, but because he's not tall, you're going to say, oh, no. Because of height, please reconsider. Please reconsider that list. So then you go to the financial. Don't judge a man because he's not spending money the way you want him to spend money. What you need him to do is to save money and be very, very shrewd and disciplined financially so that you and your children will not end up every time broke and begging on the streets. So, these major 5 self-imposed standards, you should check them out before you choose a partner. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Have a beautiful day.
The only one who holds the keys to my heart, and which way he wants me to, I'll go without a fight. I might as well be a fool for you, 'cause ain't no stop to loving you. No matter how